welcome to Leonards Academy and the BBC School Report. My name is Paris.
And I'm Harper. Coming up on today's programme, we have an action-packed programme for you.
But first, news headlines with Kaylee and Amber.
British Prime Minister David Cameron continues his trip to America to meet US President Barack Obama. After a banquet last night, today they will be discussing the extradition treaty that exists between the two nations. An investigation has begun into what caused a coach crash in Switzerland. At least 28 people died and 24 others were injured. Many students who had been travelling home to Belgium after a skiing holiday. Progress on literacy has stalled, says Chief Schools Inspector Sir Michael Wilshaw. Reading skills are falling behind other countries, he says. And now we go over to Kaylee for the news close to home.
A dead body has been found in Hemsey in Sussex, and police have issued a description in the hope that the person can be identified. A diver who got into trouble in the English Channel has been rescued safe and well by coastguards. An undercover survey is being launched in Sussex to check that seatbelts are being worn in cars. And good news for Hastings High Street. 2 town centre shops have been saved from closure. Clothing shop store Peacocks, Queen's Road and Bon Marché in Prime Meadow will now continue trading.
Thank you, Amber and Kaylee. Coming up later in the programme, we look at the impact Whitney Houston's death has had on our generation, and, of course, all the latest sports and weather.
But first, we turn to our own local community.
We wanted to find out more about the Stade, which has been much in the news recently.
A few of us went down to the Stade on the Hastings seafront. We met some interesting people, and this is the report of that day. Hastings is a town with a rich cultural heritage.
We thought we'd find out more about the historic area of the Stade.
We spent time interviewing and researching people about this part of our town.
Very much, Council Rogers, for agreeing to interview us. How did it come about for the Olympic torch to come to Hastings?
Yeah, so we met lots of people, filled in lots of forms, and eventually we got the message, it was in May of last year, that they were likely to bring the torch to Hastings.
Why is it a secret?
The main reason why things are kept under covers and under wraps is for security.
Do you know who's carrying the torch?
Well, it'll be any single one of those people who will be selected to run with it, but they may break it down into 100-metre or 200-metre runs or what, I'm just not sure. Who the actual person is who will get the honour of lighting the cauldron, I don't know. That's not been disclosed to us as yet.
Well, traditionally the boats in Hastings are a special shape for the beach, so they can go afloat very shallow draft, so they can get off the beach quite easy. And they have a special stern called an elliptic stern. And traditionally they are made of elm, wych elm, the planking. They are altering now because they've got more steel boats, more metal and fiberglass boats, and they also got the bulldozers to push them down, so they don't need the traditional shape what they were. There's still a few the traditional wooden boats on the beach, but they are dying out. There's much more maintenance on the wood than what there is on the steel boats. And, the fleet is gradually diminishing, but I think there'll still always be fishing boats here.
Tell us a bit about the Stade and the German.
And what the German gallery is creating, what the open space is creating, the cafe, the Stade Hall, is creating new jobs for Hastings people. So when you and your friends, a bit older, looking for jobs, there's every chance that you may be able to get a job here on the Stade. Over 100 new jobs are being created here as a direct result of this £9 million worth of investment.
And what do those jobs include?
They're mainly what we call entry-level jobs, which means you don't need lots and lots of qualifications. So it'll be people working in the art gallery, people working in the cafe, people working in the Stade Hall, but also visitors attracted to Hastings will be spending money in shops, in restaurants, in guest houses. So people work in the shops and the restaurants and the guest houses will get extra jobs. Also, of course, there are some professional jobs. The senior manager of the gallery is herself a professional. There will be a professional team behind those people, but it's mainly what we call entry-level jobs, so really very good for people of Hastings.
I'm the chairman of the Fishermen's Protection Society and have been for 30 years, I suppose. The Fishermen's Protection Society was an organisation which was set up basically to look after the interests of the Hastings fishermen. Effectively, they had specific rights to the ground going back to a royal charter in the 1600s and 1500s. So we've always had a strong fishing connection with this area, and it goes back, our family's been fishing here since the 1000s, so we go back 1,000 years of fishing, so we've had a very strong heritage. And the Protection Society was formed, I say, in the 1800s simply to make sure our role was for safeguarding our future.
Thank you to all our correspondents who joined in on that report. It looked like you had fun. Paris?
Yes, and we joined on the sofas with all the people that made the report. Did we have an interesting time, guys?
Yes! It was great to meet all the people we interviewed.
So we thank you for being on our school report.
Thank you!
Quite right. And now we turn to even more local matters. Maddie is here with me to tell us about the next report.
Yes, many people will know that our school turned into an academy last year, and we wanted to find out more about all of this. And Amy and I chose to interview the principal of our academy about it. Here's our report. We are delighted to be here in the principal's office to talk to Miss Jones about her ideas and future of the academy.
The first thing we would like to ask you is how well you think the academy has gone this year.
I think we've had a fantastic start to the opening of the academy. I think students have responded really well to the challenge of coming together from two schools to one. I think one of the big things that has made a difference is our uniform, which has gone down really well in the local community. We've raised the bar, it sets out our stall in terms of our standards, so that's been really successful as well.
What is your vision for the future of the academy?
Well, the vision for the future of the academy is first and foremost is that we are the school of choice for our local community. I want all the families in our community in Hastings and St Leonards to believe that this is the school they want to send their children to. And why do they want to do that? Because we provide a really high quality education which will equip their sons and daughters for life in the 21st century, which is very different. So we need to get a reputation for being innovative, for offering an exciting curriculum, and most importantly for outstanding teaching and learning, and students that really enjoy coming to school every day.
We thought we'd ask one or two of our student friends
what they think about the academy.
At first I thought the academy was going to be rubbish, but actually it's quite nice.
I get along with everybody and all the teachers are nice.
Since the academy started, there's been more variety of food in the canteen.
I like the academy and the uniforms aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be.
I like the uniform, it makes us look really smart.
Thanks Amy and Maddie for that. Now we're turning to Taylor and Emma, who have to conduct a report on the impact of Whitney Houston's death. They asked students in our group what it meant to them, and this is their report.
What did Whitney Houston mean to you? I thought she was a very good role model, so I was pretty devastated when she passed away. I was very devastated as well because I love Whitney Houston and I used to look up to her. Who else in your family are Whitney Houston fans?
Well, my mum and my auntie are main Whitney Houston fans, and my auntie tends to dance to Whitney Houston a lot, which is not a very good experience.
I think my mum is, because I've heard her talk about Whitney Houston a few times, but I'm not completely sure.
How did you feel when she passed away?
When I heard the news that Whitney Houston was dead, I was very shocked because I thought she was a great role model and she will live long in everyone's memory.
It was a big shock to me when I heard of Whitney's death. She was an excellent singer.
Thank you, Emma and Taylor, for that. And now we turn our attention to our sports desk with Ross, Michael and Joe. Hello to you.
Hello Harper. Yes, we have all the sports news coming up now, and first the headlines with Michael and Joe.
Thank you, Ross. It was a thrilling match at Stamford Bridge last night, and Chelsea are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We have a big weekend of sport coming up. The new season of Formula 1 gets underway in Australia on Sunday.
And Wales are hoping to make the rugby Grand Slam when they play their match on Saturday. Thank you, Michael. I understand you went to the game last week to see Brighton vs Cardiff.
Yes, we had a great time. Mr. Aldridge, our PE teacher, organised a trip, and he was also around recently when we met with local sports hero Steve Cook.
Yes, we were lucky enough to interview Steve Cook when he visited our school last week. He's recently signed from Brighton to Bournemouth, and we wanted to know what that meant to him.
But we also wanted to know what it was like for him when he was a young lad like us. Here's our report.
Thank you very much for coming. When you was little, who did you want to play for?
Probably Liverpool. I don't know why. I just always supported them as a youngster. But like I started football like under nines, where I signed for Brighton, so it was quite young. And then obviously worked my way up to become like a first team player at Bournemouth.
How was the change from Brighton to Bournemouth?
It was hard, well, obviously because I've been at Brighton for such a long time. I was there from like under nines until I'm 20 now, so it was hard.
What are your hopes and ambitions for the future, and what would be your dream job?
Well, I want to play at the highest level I can, so preferably the Championship or Premiership for either Bournemouth or another club. And I'm in my dream job already, so I've always loved football, and I still do.
Well, thanks very much, and would you join us for a game?
Yeah, come on. Come on, man.
Thanks to everyone for reading us that report. And now bring you the closing news headlines.
Prime Minister David Cameron is continuing his visit to meet with President Obama in the United States.
And investigations are underway in Switzerland to find out what happened to cause that fatal coach crash.
And finally, here is our weather report from Chloe.
Well, after a foggy start, we're looking forward to more spring weather. Most of our areas should see sunshine today and it will feel warm. We're expecting highs of around 16 degrees. However, it won't last. Rain is expected at the weekend. Lucky for some.
So that brings us to the end of today's programme.
We hope you've enjoyed it.
And hope you will join us next time.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from all of us.
Bye!